Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's Bam Adebayo has one hilarious complaint on NBA All-Star Game after three-point performance. The NBA All-Star Game has devolved into a glorified shooting exhibition, with superstars clearly not giving it their all during the contest, much to the annoyance of millions of fans all over the globe. Nonetheless, it seems as though the actual participants in the All-Star Game are having fun. However, Miami Heat center Bam Adebayo, who stepped into the Eastern Conference starting lineup as the injury replacement for Joel Embiid, has an idea for how to make the proceedings more fun for himself. Posting on his official Twitter, X, account, the Heat star complained about the fact that his teammates wouldn't give him back the ball in what ended up being a 211-186 rout in favor of the East All-Stars. Damn, they really don't pass back in the ASG. Loudly crying face, Adebayo wrote. In terms of shot creation skill set on the East All-Stars roster, Bam Adebayo's is clearly the weakest. The Heat star can create a bit for himself off the dribble, but he does that as a featured option in the Miami offense. In the All-Star Game, his primary offensive weapons, dribble handoffs, screen setting, don't exactly stand out. As a result, he took just 2 shots during the All-Star Game, the fewest among all the players who suited up. Adebayo's lack of shot attempts was a symptom of how the East All-Stars tended to play more of a dribble-heavy offense. They assisted on just 55% of their made field goals. The New York Knicks, the dead last team in the association in assist rate, is at 56.8%, while the Western All-Stars, despite their heavy defeat, assisted on 60 out of their 80 made baskets, for a stellar rate of 75%, a figure that would lead the NBA. Of course, Bam Adebayo was clearly joking with his tweet. He looked like he was having a blast out there even though he didn't make much of an impact on the scoring column. It won't be long anyway before Adebayo rejoins the Heat and becomes a focal point of their offense once more, especially with Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier not expected to be back on the court within the imminent future. Kevin Love gets real on comfort level with the Heat. It has been a very happy year. It has been a hectic past couple of years for Kevin Love, who was bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers last season, then signed by the Miami Heat in hopes to revitalize his basketball career. Since then, it seems as if the former All-Star is truly comfortable in his surroundings with the Heat, especially with the birth of his daughter. While there is no doubt that Love is in the twilight years of his career, he has found an integral role with Miami being the backup center for star Bam Adebayo. In an interview with Ira Winderman of the Sun-Sentinel, Love said that it has been gratifying to go through this change and come out great from it, as he also expressed that it has been a very happy year. I think the thing that's most gratifying to me is that going to a new location or a new team or a new organization, new city, especially at this stage in your career, you never know what's going to happen, Love said. And after that run last year, I got so much fun out of it, as well as guys I'll have relationships for life, bigger than basketball. My daughter was born on June 10th, right after Game 4 of the NBA Finals. We bought a new house in Miami, Love continued. It's almost like we got to start our life in a place where we have a lot of friends and a lot of great teammates and people in the organization who have become family in a pretty quick time, so it has been a very happy year. Being a part of an organization for a long time like Love was with the Cavaliers, it's never a seamless and easy transition to move to a completely different place with the birth of a child in the horizon. However, Love uses the word comfortable when explaining how he is with Miami. I feel comfortable here as well as understanding what everyone, and I mean everybody, wants, Love said via the Sun-Sentinel. And just being an absolutely bubbly guy and personality to be around. I think from that perspective, yes, I feel like I'm in a good spot. While he helps the Heat on another hopeful playoff run this season, he has now taken another opportunity as part of the veteran leadership of the team. This was an aspect that Kyle Lowry filled until he was traded to the Charlotte Hornets for Terry Rozier. Love talked about wanting to embrace that leadership role and help the young players, but also the established stars on the Heat. "I certainly want to embrace that leadership role," Love said. "Because I can kind of extend an olive branch and meet guys halfway and just relate to guys on different levels, whether they be Nico, Jovic, or be it Bam or be it Tyler, Harrow, or Jimmy, Butler. There's a way to get through to each guy that I do feel like I have the capability of doing." If there is someone who is a huge fan of Love, it's Miami head coach Eric Spoelstra, who has been on record a numerous amount of times praising Love and embracing any type of role he gets, with the end goal being to win. He has called the veteran the connector of all connectors. "I think the transition that he's made at this stage of his career, most former All-Stars can't or aren't willing to do it," Spoelstra said earlier in the season. "And he's really a star in that kind of role. He's really important for our group because he's the connector of all connectors. He's really like our emotional leader. He just wants to win at this stage of his career, he just wants to do whatever it takes, however he can help to get our team to win," Spoelstra continued. "And there's a karma to that if you're pure with your intentions. And even at this stage, it's a sacrifice. But he's willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team, and it's a great example for everybody else to try to do what we're trying to do. I love the role that he's carving out right now. Love will be huge for the team down the stretch as they will start play back up after the All-Star break, as their next contest is Friday, February 23rd against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Heat are 30-25 on the season, which puts them 7th in the Eastern Conference. NBA rumors: Alonzo Williams, DeLon Wright, Jacque Vaughn, and LeBron James, plus more. Miami Heat guard Alonzo Williams, on a two-way contract, may see some time after the All-Star break, according to Miami Sun-Sentinel's Ira Winderman. Williams has only seen 6 minutes in one game for Miami this year, as he has spent a lot of time with the Sioux Falls Skyforce. Williams has played well for the Skyforce, averaging 20.0 points, 5.2 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and 1.2 steals while posting a shooting line of .503/.378/.737. He has 2 40-point games and 6 double-doubles in 34 games. The 24-year-old guard scored 11 points in his lone Rising Star game during All-Star Weekend. It wasn't just Williams' scoring that caught the attention of the Heat's brass during the Rising Star Challenge, but his overall game and motor, Winderman said. Winderman also speculated that Williams could have his contract converted to a standard deal if they waived Drew Smith. Smith is out for the remainder of the season after undergoing reconstructive knee surgery. The 26-year-old guard averaged 4.3 points, 1.6 rebounds, and 1.6 assists while shooting .455/.412/1.000. Smith's, who has 24 games of NBA experience, $2.12 million salary for next season is non-guaranteed. It really doesn't make sense for the Heat to convert Williams' contract, unless they are sold that Smith is not part of their future. The Heat have 15 players under contract with the signing of DeLon Wright, and Wright fills the void for the Heat of a true backup point guard. Wright had agreed to join the Heat after working out a buyout from the Washington Wizards on Friday, but the deal wasn't finalized until last night. According to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, the 31-year-old point guard will receive a prorated minimum salary from the Heat. Wright was expected to garner a lot of attention after getting bought out. However, he spurned other teams by announcing that his intention was to sign with the Heat following his release from the Wizards. Wright is one of the preeminent backup point guards in the league. He averaged 4.1 points, 1.8 rebounds, and 2.5 assists while shooting .393/.368/.828. It is believed that Wright chose to sign with the Heat because he was promised minutes. He could start at point guard until Terry Rozier can return from his knee injury. Rozier is considered week to week. Although, that duty could remain tile with Harrow with Duncan Robinson remaining in the starting lineup. Wright's true role isn't expected to be known until Rozier and Josh Richardson, shoulder, who is likely to be out until at least the end of the month. In a semi-surprising development, the Brooklyn Nets relieved head coach Jacques Vaughn of his duties earlier this morning, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. This was an incredibly difficult decision, but one we feel is in the team's best interest going forward, General Manager Sean Marks stated. Jacques has represented this organization with exemplary character and class for the past 8 years. The consistent positivity and passion he poured into our team daily will remain with the players and staff he interacted with throughout his tenure. We thank Jacques for all he has done for the Nets and the borough of Brooklyn and wish him, Laura, and their family nothing but the best in the future. Brooklyn is 21-33 on the season, but is coming off a 50-point loss to Boston on Wednesday, a day after falling to the Celtics by 8. The Nets have lost 18 of 24 overall and sit in 11th place in the Eastern Conference, 2.5 games behind the 10th-place Atlanta Hawks. More important to Marks and the Nets brass, according to SNY's Ian Begley, is that the players lost confidence in Vaughn as the losses mounted. Vaughn went 71-68 in his 1+ seasons with the Nets, which included helping them secure a playoff berth last season. He was interim coach for 10 games with the Nets during the 2019-20 campaign. While Brooklyn will announce who will take over for Vaughn on an interim basis later, Brian Lewis of the New York Post suggested that assistant Kevin Ollie may be the choice. Ollie doesn't have any NBA head coaching experience. But he led the UConn Huskies for 6 seasons, including the 2014 national title, and was the head coach of Overtime Elite from 2021 to 23. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation about LeBron James? Leave your opinion in the comments.